there'd be nothing left. So what we'll do
We're gonna
is
throw it on the low board, or we're just gonna drive it out.
two of them, 250 and then 2600, hook them up, haul them in.
He's the unyielding force of the Yukon, the man who transformed a muddy claim into a multi-million-dollar gold empire, forging his destiny with nothing but sheer willpower. For years, Tony Beets, the legendary Viking of Gold Rush, seemed utterly unstoppable. But recently, a subtle, disquieting shift began to worry his loyal fans. Whispers started to circulate through the mining community. Was the indestructible Tony finally slowing down? And now, after a tense, unsettling silence, the King of the Klondike has finally delivered his verdict, confirming the emotional truth we all held our breath for. What truly happened to the gold standard of the Klondike? Stay with us, because the future of the Beets empire hangs on this answer. Tony Beets wasn't born into fortune. His life began quietly on December 15, 1959 in Vedenas, a small, working-class farming village in the Netherlands. It was a simple existence ruled by the demanding rhythm of the land. Days started well before dawn, centered on hard labor, tending the fields, caring for the animals. Every morning was a lesson in earning your keep through sweat and persistence. That demanding world shaped his spirit. There was no room for weakness or excuses. When Tony's father fell ill, he was only a teenager, but he immediately stepped up, shouldering the responsibility of the family farm. Those relentless hours built the iron strength and discipline that would later define him. Yet, a restless yearning was deep inside him. The fields of Holland taught him the value of work, but they also showed him a life that could be too limited, too predictable, if he never took a risk. He knew that to stay in Vedenas was to accept a steady but small future. That realization ignited a fire. He craved adventure, he demanded freedom, and he was driven to build a life far greater than his inheritance. In his early 20s, armed with little more than relentless determination, Tony Beets made a life-altering choice. He abandoned the familiar landscape of the Netherlands for the untamed wilderness of Canada. It was a massive gamble for a young man with no connections, no money, and no certainty. But he firmly believed that a man's true value was measured by what he could create with his own two hands. Arriving in Canada was a shock. The winters were brutal, the language was foreign, and survival was a daily battle. But Tony had been raised in hardship, and he knew how to tame it. He took every job he could find: construction, farm work, machinery operation, the grueling tasks no one else wanted. These were the years that tempered his will. Slowly, he mastered the new ways of this vast country and began to hear the captivating legends of the Yukon, a place where the earth concealed gold, offering a brutal but direct path to a new fate. For most, the Yukon was a place where dreams went to die. The cold was merciless, the isolation crippling, and the work backbreaking. But Tony saw opportunity where others saw only defeat. He packed his tools and made the long, arduous trek north. Life there was savage. Long hours, little sleep, and a constant raw struggle against the elements. But with every challenge overcome, Tony's confidence soared. He worked alongside veteran miners, absorbing every detail of the trade. From wrestling heavy equipment to managing massive operations in the world's most remote and dangerous terrains. Years later, with a mountain of experience and a small pile of savings, Tony took the ultimate leap, launching his own mining operation. It was a high-stakes risk, but for the first time, he was his own master. What followed was a breathtaking ascent. He built his business with grit, piece by piece, earning a reputation not as a man who chased gold, but one who commanded it. His work ethic became legendary, his leadership absolute, and his results indisputable. Then came the moment that introduced Tony Beets to the world, Discovery Channel's Gold Rush. The show opened a window into the lives of miners battling unforgiving odds. But when Tony exploded onto the scene in Season 2, the show's dynamic instantly changed. He wasn't there to perform, he was there to mine. His blunt honesty, fearless approach, and singular focus made him an immediate electric standout. Fans were captivated by his raw power and his absolute refusal to compromise. While competitors chased luck, Tony relied on hard-earned skill and precision. His defining, jaw-dropping moment came when he tackled a challenge no one else dared touch, reviving a massive, decades-old dredge left to rot in the wilderness. Many dismissed it as a fool's costly gamble. But Tony saw pure potential. With his crew, he meticulously disassembled the behemoth, transported its thousands of parts across miles of rugged terrain, and rebuilt it from the ground up. It was a grueling, seemingly impossible task, but Tony never blinked. When the dredge finally roared to life, churning through the earth and pulling up fortunes, it became the ultimate symbol of his vision, his courage, and his sheer, unrelenting will. That moment cemented his status as the Viking of Gold Rush, but behind every glittering ounce of gold stood his family. His wife, Minnie Beets, was the true backbone of the empire, managing the finances and operations with razor-sharp focus. Alongside their children, Monica, Kevin, Mike, and Bianca, the Beets family didn't just build a business. They forged an unbreakable legacy. From the rough claims of the Klondike to the screens of millions, they proved that true wealth is built on teamwork, resilience, and family unity. Yet, in recent seasons, the observant fans began to notice unsettling signs. The Tony Beets who once roared his commands across the site now seemed quieter, appearing less often on screen. When he was shown, his movements seemed more measured, his energy more contained. Viewers took to social media, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, to ask, was Tony stepping away? Was he facing a health crisis? Or was he simply preparing to pass the torch? Speculation spiraled. Now, the smallest changes, a slight weight loss, a softer tone, fewer shots of him directly handling the heavy machinery, fueled endless worried theories. Through it all, Tony remained uncharacteristically silent. And for a man as brutally direct as he is, that silence only intensified the mystery. Then, after weeks of mounting rumors, Tony Beets finally spoke. In his classic no-nonsense style, he shattered the noise. Yes, he confirmed, there had been changes. After decades of pushing himself in the extreme conditions of the Yukon, the years were finally catching up. He explained that mining in the Klondike demands a heavy price, and he was simply acknowledging the truth every man must eventually face: time. He was stepping back slightly, he clarified, not out of weakness, but out of a deeper wisdom. It was time, he declared, for his children to take on greater responsibility. He wasn't quitting, he wasn't leaving Gold Rush, he was adapting, transitioning into a new, powerful phase of life and business, one focused on guiding, not grinding. His words delivered a massive wave of relief and clarity to his legions of loyal fans. He made it perfectly clear: the Beets family dynasty is strong, built on the exact same unyielding foundation that carried him from a small Dutch farm to the icy, gold-rich rivers of the Yukon. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Fans, fellow miners, and colleagues flooded social media with messages of profound respect and gratitude. Relief filled the air, not just that Tony was healthy, but that his journey was evolving, allowing him to step into the role of mentor and patriarch. People celebrated his legendary achievements, from resurrecting the ancient dredge to building a true, enduring family empire. Over the years, Tony Beets has become more than a TV personality. He is a symbol of authenticity and perseverance. He has shown the world that true success isn't built on luck or shortcuts. It's built on consistency, raw resilience, and family. From the farms of Vidanas to the frozen fields of the Yukon, his story is irrefutable proof that the hardest roads often lead to the richest rewards. He once stated simply, "The gold's not the reward. The work is." And perhaps that is the most powerful lesson he has ever given us. The real treasure is not what you pull from the ground, but the people who stand beside you, the legacy you build, and the quiet strength you show when no one is watching. Today, as his children fiercely carry the Beets mining legacy forward, Tony's presence still resonates through every engine, every sluice box, and every glint of gold. He may not be at the wheel every single day anymore, but his unyielding spirit drives the entire operation. And that is the incredible, ever-evolving story of Tony Beets, the Viking of Gold Rush, a man who proved that a true fortune is forged through grit, heart, and family. His legacy reminds us all that success isn't found, it's earned. What do you think about Tony's remarkable journey? From the farmlands of Holland to becoming the undisputed king of the Yukon goldfields? Let us know in the comments below, and if this story of pure determination inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because legends like Tony Beets prove that the real gold is in never giving up. Thanks for watching.